Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Sarah and welcome to my Flosstube channel. This is a channel dedicated to cross stitch and the art of needlework, and so you are all welcome here, and I'm excited to share what I've been working on for the month of July and into August. I go by Lady Lugana here on YouTube, and then Sarah Van Wy is my Instagram account. I know many of you follow me there and have seen maybe a couple of updates. I don't post there as regularly, but I'm excited to share what I've stitched this past month, and we'll kind of just dive right in. Life has been a little chaotic. We are planning on selling our home eventually, and what that has led to is really a deep dive into my craft room, looking at what realistically I want to keep, what realistically I will actually choose to stitch in my lifetime, organizing all the stuff, and possibly, well, not possibly, doing a de-stash of things, which I may do a separate video on here to come. But anyway, I digress. So I have lots to share. I have one finish. I have a impulsive new start, and then I have whips and just a very tiny bit of haul, because like I said, I'm trying to de-stash, not accrue any further, which is especially hard with all of the Nashville patterns being released. So I've been enjoying seeing all of those, but I will not be purchasing this year. Anyway, let's start with my first finish. This is a small pattern. It's called Faded Flag, and it is by October House Fiber Arts. This is what the pattern looks like. And this is stitched on a 36 count vintage country Mocha, and this was a new for me. I have never stitched 1/2 on 36 count, and so I stitched the flag up 1/2 on 36 count, and here it is. And I did make a couple of changes because I did not have some of the called for in stash. So old red paint I used. Antique Rose I switched to Pink Sand by Weeks Dye Works, and you can see those colors in my last video. But the majority of this lighter tone, that is Pink Sand. And I actually like it because it gives it even more of a washed out look, a vintage look to it. Dungarees is the blue, and that's what I used. Shaker White are for the stars. And then Pomegranate I switched out for Red Rocks, and that's that really deep, rich tone. And Red Rocks is a Weeks Dye Works color as well. And so I am going to be traveling this month for some family stuff going on, and I'll be able to see my sister, and I'm hoping to bring a couple of smalls to her. She sews and she's a quilter and all of the things, and see if she can help me start the finishing expedition. I still haven't become proficient or comfortable with my own sewing machine, which it is what it is. So that is Faded Flag, and maybe, don't hold me to it, maybe it'll be fully finished by next video. The second piece I have to show you is my impulsive start. Alicia, Adventures in Stitching, totally enabled me on this one. So this is a start along with her. If you have not checked out her channel, do so. She loves full coverage, and she has a lot of beautiful projects, and I really enjoy watching her. So she and I are starting this together. It is a full coverage, so by no means are we probably going to finish it anytime soon. But this is called River Walk Charm. And its original artwork is by Ran Manning. And it is a design by Heaven and Earth Design, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And let me see if I can find the picture for you. This is absolutely beautiful. And I'm doing this one, let me grab a little bit different. I've actually kitted this all up from stash so far. I'm trying something a little different using my stuff. And I've started by putting these ones on a floss ring, which I've never, this is new. So I'm enjoying it so far. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. I love the colors. Really, the colors are what sold me on this. I just, look at those trees. Look at that. Oh man, it's beautiful. And I do all of my heaven and earth design projects. Every single one of them is regular sized. None of them are max color. I like the more balanced mix between confetti and block stitching that comes with a regular size chart. And I stitch every single one of them 1/1 full cross on 28 count. Oh, sorry, you might hear my husband working on the house. He's vacuuming. 1/1 on 28 count, easy count, pre-gridded fabric. So this is my tiny start. This is about 1,500 stitches, believe it or not. And it's really just getting going into the, let's see if I can, it's the top left corner, so the trees up here. But I thought 1,500 stitches on a new start was pretty decent. And you can see just getting into the colors of the roof. You can't tell anything about what it is right now, which is fine. But look at these colors so far. They're just, look at that red. They're going to be very fun to work with. I'm excited. So this is a new adventure for me and a new kind of approach to a full coverage. And I plan on working on that more. Oh. And then this is living in a Jasmine custom made bag with hydrangeas on it. It's beautiful. Next is a piece that I've shown previously. This is Maeve, my other full coverage piece that I have worked on. Let me get up. My husband's taking a picture of me for posterity. Well, this artwork is by Jenna della Grottaglia Maldonado, and this is also a regular chart by Heaven and Earth Design. Let me show you what it looks like. This one will also look like not much because there's a lot of background in this particular pattern, but I love this pattern. Ooh, look at that. My goodness, it's beautiful. And actually, I forgot to show you my needle book of days. I'll show that to you next. But this gives me, it's like autumn, it's also summer solstice, it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's high fantasy. I love everything about this pattern. And so I'm stitching this 1/1 on 28 count. I got another 1,000 stitches done in here. As you can see, you can't tell much about what it is. I'm in this corner here. There's this kind of corner up here, and I'm finally, I actually got to use some red, as you can see right in here. But I'm excited about this one because this is my biggest full coverage piece. The stitch count on this is, let me find it for you, 504,000, whereas Riverwalk Charm is 300, oh my goodness, 502,000, 300, oh my gosh, 382,000. My brain just turned off. But that is where I am on that one. So, which leads me to segue into my book of days, which I forgot to show you. Here's July, all those stickers, but I wanted to show you my August so far because I decorated it based off of, I was inspired by Maeve, all with like traditional Dungeons and Dragons stickers. You can see here's an owl bear here at the top. And so I thought that was fun. So that was my second full coverage piece. And then my focus full coverage piece, all of you are familiar with. It's Empress Eugenie, Surrounded by Ladies. That is a piece, the original artwork is by Franz Xavier Winterhalter. And it is also a heaven and earth chart. And I am almost done. I actually might need a board on this one. It's got a little more done than the other ones. I love this piece. So I'm almost done with this page up here. This one here. So I will finish that this month. This is what it's looking like so far. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about plans because I do have some plans, some lofty goals that may minimize the variety of patterns you see. But I feel like it'll be good. Let me hold it still so I don't make you guys vomit. So this is Empress Eugenie, Surrounded by Ladies. And I'm going to finish this page up here. Then I'm going to finish this page down here. And after that, I'm not sure. So there's one page here and then another page, and that's the bottom of the pattern. So I may work all the way down from there because this is a page that literally has 8,000 stitches of only 2 colors. And so it'll be a lot of block stitching, and I get that done so that way one of them's done. And then I can go back into the confetti and then kind of back and forth so that I don't get bored with one or the other. But isn't it lovely? I'll get up close so you guys can see. And that is what, she got a strand in her. That is what 1 over 1 on 28 count looks like. So, got strands everywhere. Yeah. So that's Empress Eugenie, Surrounded by Ladies. So those are my full coverage pieces. And then my non-full coverage pieces. Okay. The next one I have, if I can, oh, here it is. This is Jesus. This is a kit produced by Vervaco or Vervaco. I'm not sure how to say it. It's readily available. You can find it on Amazon, and I'm sure you can find it. I didn't look, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was easily available on 1-2-3 Stitch. This is the piece I stitch on Sundays. This is what it looks like, which I love. And I'm hoping to get this done by the next time you see it. I got quite a bit done this past month. This is where I am. Oh, it looks so good. Look at that. So there's only 9 colors in this. I've color completed 1. I've color completed 9, 8, 7, and 6. So I'll have 4 more colors to complete. And ultimately, it's just bringing the hair down and the remainder of this across. Now this I stitched on I'm gonna just label it as a mystery linen. I switched out the fabric. The kit came, I think I've been telling you guys 18 count, but I think pretty sure it came with a 14 count, just kind of cream Aida. And this is a 28 count, like khaki or mushroom Lugana. I think it's a khaki taupe Lugana, something like that. So, it looks so good. Look at that. I could stare at it all day. This is what it looks like up close. Beautiful. So this is overall a fairly simple stitch. Being mindful that up in here because it's all sepia tones, there's a bit of counting, but it's a lot of counting with block stitching. So it's, I like it. So that is Jesus. And he will be 100% a finish this year. which will give me a total of 3 finishes so far. Next is a piece that I'm putting 2 strands in a day. I'm hopeful to get this one done this year too. This is a gift from my mom. It's the first cross-stitch kit I ever owned. It's also my oldest work in progress. It's called Symphony Bouquet. This is what it looks like. It is a design works kit. And it's still available, but I can say that I have seen the new kit. I don't know, the new kit being still a couple years ago, and the fibers, it doesn't seem as high of quality as the original kit that I got. Things have been switched out of it, so just bearing that in mind. And I didn't have any before pictures this go round, so I will need to remember to take those next time. And this was also stitched on by Samantha the Huga Stitcher and Erica from Fiber Arts. Canada. My brain it's not working. I will link them all below. And so I worked on this rose and I carried it out so that I could actually count to the edge to see how much fabric I have, and it's good. It'll be sufficient margins. I was a little uncertain. And then I filled in all of this, and I'm working on coming down and filling it in here. But it looks really good, and this is up close. And this is on the kit fabric, which is a 14 count Aida, but it's a beautiful like rustico Aida. So this is what I worked on. I do need to take this. This is a misprint in the chart, and the same misprint is on updated charts. This symbol is an N, and it's labeling it as this gray color, but it should be 422, which is actually a tan color. So I fixed it in here. I may leave it over here. There's some in here too, just for the fact that this was stitched by someone else and kind of give it a little touch of character, but we'll see. So this is Symphony Bouquet. Pretty. Still a lot of stitching left on that, a lot of back stitching. I see this and I think, oh, I'm getting so close, and then I remember that I have to do the whole of that full coverage. So I still argue that this bit in here has been the hardest because it's all little clusters of stitching, little clusters of color, and a lot of color changes. But I'll continue to work on that 2 strands a day and switch it out for my next oldest project when it's done. The next project I worked on, and I didn't get very many stitches into this so far. It's only about 300, a little less, or maybe a little more. It's Nightingale by Mirabilia. This might be a short video, guys. I thought I had a lot to show you, but it's going fairly quickly. So Nightingale, I am stitching. My goal is to get her done by May of 2026, to have her completely stitched in the year I finish school. Irony being that I'm going back to school, or I'm applying to go back to school. Who knows if I'll get in. So I have my family nurse practitioner, so I'm going to broaden and also get my acute care nurse practitioner, and then be done. Forever done. This is where she's at. And I'm stitching this on the with the called for fibers on 32 count Grace Note Fabrics Brown Sugar Boba. And this is where she is. So I started, she's a little more of a finicky Mirabilia. She's got less, I feel like I'm moving into block stitching a little bit more, but even still, she's a little, the way her design goes, it's not like a chunk, it's like a wraparound, because there's a lot of flowing dress. So the block colors are still, like you can see, they go this way instead of just down. So she's a little more finicky, but I think she's beautiful. And this is where she is. And I stitched this section working on bringing the dress down. And this lantern is glow in the dark, which I think is fantastic. I need to finish back stitching. I've only back stitched her face because I wanted to see her face. But this is what she looks like. Oh, she's pretty. Look at that. And the fabric is not quite showing true. There's a touch of more pink to it than is coming across on camera. But the modeling is actually pretty representative, I would argue. And so that is Nightingale. She's pretty. I'm going to say that about everything. She's pretty. Okay. And so in order to get her done by May, I need to stitch 2,000 stitches a month on her. And so that'll be one of my goals moving forward. Next is my queen. I want to stitch all the queens, and so I pull the queens out on Friday. And once the Nightingale is done, then the queen will move into her spot and something else will go into my Friday Mirabilia spot. But this is the Queen of Autumn, also designed by Mirabilia. She is out of print. But of the queens that are out of print, from my experience, she was a little easier to come by than other queens on the secondary market. The cost is still, I don't know what the things that they're charging right now. They're a little silly to be charging $150 and things like that for patterns, but some people have them listed like that. I did not buy them at that price though. This is where I got to, and so she comes out a little bit on Fridays. Put a few stitches in. This is stitched with the called for fibers on a 32 count sand linen. This is one of my few Mirabilias that I'm actually stitching on. Oh, sorry, bumped you. One of my few Mirabilias that I'm actually stitching on a linen that's not witch-hilt. I like Lugana and I like witch-hilt linens, but this is the picture, this plus sand. And I stitched kind of from her collar essentially down. And this is Whisper, so it's fuzzy. I don't have ready access. And then what you can see here is this is her hand. It's not back stitched yet, but her hand's coming up and she's got her hand kind of at a brooch. That's going to come in right in here. No, excuse me, right in here. And this is going to carry down into her cloak. This particular pattern, there are some updates. Oh, let me speak to that on. If you are stitching this pattern, then you need to check the error, the errata sheet on the website. I'm sure that updated, oh, my dog is sleeping and dreaming. Updated pattern releases do not have the error, but there is a lot of corrections in the torso of this particular pattern. So just as an FYI. There are some corrections on this one as well. And one of the corrections is transitioning from this particular gold, which is like 58, 28 or something DMC. They recommend a different metallic. I did not know that. And so I've been using the other metallic and it is not the most pleasant to work with. And so I found a Krynic that is similar in color and I'll be using it moving forward now that I'm going down and out of the areas that I had previously stitched. It's really close in color. And so this is Queen of Autumn. And all of those empty spaces are for beads. She's going to be heavy. She's blingy. So, and I think she's lovely. And then, let's see, I stitched on a little bit on the piece that my husband loves. This is called Grace Doth Abound and is by Plum Street Samplers. That is what it looks like. And I never know what this fabric is. Someone said it in their video and I was like, that's what it is. And then I didn't write it down and I completely have no idea. But I'm stitching it 2/2 on a 36 count fabric. This fabric came out market this year. So it's one of the neutrals that came out at market. That's all I got. And I got this flower in. I got to finish the snake, and I continued on the checkerboard house. I really love this fabric, and it's actually showing true on camera. I need to try to figure out the name again, because I really could buy a whole bunch of this. So, and that is what Grace Doth Abound looks like. Man, that's pretty. And it's not, this one's not, I mean, it's dense. There's a lot of stitching, but it's not big. As you can see, this is the entire, with margin, and I think it's 2.5 or 3 inch margins that were cut down. So it's not huge. But I love the colors. They're both summer and autumnal to me, so it'll be easy to want to pull this one out, continue autumn, August, September as well. And then my last whip is a big one. So this is a pattern by Twin Peak Primitives. It's called One Nation Under God, or Liberty. I am also, Alicia Adventures in Stitching is also stitching this. She just restarted it. And her goal, and my goal as well actually, is to get this done by the 250th anniversary of the country. So next 4th of July, July 4th, 2026. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. This particular pattern has approximately 40,000 stitches in it. And I am over 25% done. So I need to stitch at least 2,500 stitches of this a month in order to finish it by the end of July next year, or by July of next year. This is stitched 2/2 on 32 count vintage country Mocha, and this is a Lugana, not a linen. And it looks good. And what I worked on, it's a big piece, I worked more on the White House. And so I finished filling in this part of the White House, and then I started carrying the other part of the White House over. So this is the middle section, and there'll be another section like that. And I don't know, I can't see what I'm showing you. Yeah, I think you guys can see it. So this is, this pattern has 2 colorways, one with Weeks dye work fibers and one with DMC. I'm using mostly Weeks dye work, but I subbed out, so the deer was supposed to be the same color as her hair and as the star. So I subbed out the different parts of the deer for a Woodsy Acorn by Victorian Motto, so that it looked more like a deer to me. And then what else did I use? Maybe I did use this. I don't think I did. Woodsy Acorn is what I used. And let me show it. This is a big one, and it's a beauty. Look at that. Oh, it's gonna look so good. I can't wait to get all of it done. Close up. So that is my last WIP. And so for plans, number 1 plan and number 2 plan is to get 2,500 stitches on this a month and 2,000 stitches on Nightingale, which is a lot of stitches already right there for me. So especially working on the house, selling the house, possibly going back to school and working. But we'll see. I would like to also make sure I get a good chunk of time dedicated to Eugenie each month. So those are going to be the foremost. And in terms of other plans, I forgot it. I'm going to grab it real quick. Just get out of the screen. So for August, if I have time, I also want to work on Grace Doth Abound. And then the small piece that I would like to focus on for August is a Nora Corbett piece. See if I can't get this finished. This is called Glittering Leaves by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching, oh, what is this on? What fabric? This is, oh, it's a good question what fabric this is on. If you have a question, let me know. If you really want to know, I could look it up. I don't have it readily accessible. But as you can see, it's not very big and it's close to being done. So I would like to try and finish this if possible. Moving into the autumn. It looks like it's glowing. And this isn't entirely true. It's a little, this is making, the camera showing it a little, bringing up more blue undertones. It's a little brighter than what's showing on camera. But, and it's washing out the really bright, beautiful water lilies for some reason. It's blowing them out a little bit. You can see that's one of them. And then that's the other one. So, yeah. So I wouldn't mind getting that done. I would say I have currently, I think I'm about 50% done with it. So I think I could get that done at least by the end of September. So that'll be my next small that I'm working on. And it's cute because this lives in a, it's fairies. It's a fairy bag. And this is by Little Boat 88. I thought that was cute. So those are plans. And then I have just a little bit of haul to share with you that may factor into plans a little bit. I'm kind of uncertain. And that will be it. It is a bit of a shorter video. So, oh, let's see, where's my haul? Oh, it's back here. I buried it. So the first thing I have to show you, I ordered these fibers back in May, and they finally arrived. And so this is Elizabeth Stevenson, 1854. This is the 2025 Queen of the May. And I'm sure many of you have seen this being stitched. It's very beautiful. And so the fibers have arrived. And I've never worked with this silk before. These are the Soie d'Alger. Look at these beautiful colors. Look at those. Oh my goodness. And this is I'm going to stitch this on a 40 count Sandcastle by Fox and Rabbit. Look at those colors, going to pop right off of there. Yes, 40 count Sandcastle by Fox and Rabbit. Which brings me to, in terms of reproduction samplers, I know I've been showing you the Jane Hopkins, but I think I'm going to tuck that one away in favor of this one for two reasons. One, because Jane Hopkins is a bouquet of flowers and I have a big bouquet of flowers already going. And two, my other new one, I want to start another bouquet of flowers. And so this is a Dimensions kit. It is called Garden in Gold. It makes me think of my mom. And so I'm stitching it, not in memory of my mother, because my mother is still alive, but as a piece to honor her, I guess, honor my mama. And this is what makes me think of her, is the cat, because she has a cat that looks just like this right now, and she loves cats. His name is Garfield, and that cat eats like Garfield. So I'm excited. I'm going to go see my family at the end of this month and spend some time with them. And so I would like to stitch this. So that'll be two bouquets of flowers going, one pinks, one bright poppy colors. And so holding off on stitching the Jane Hopkins, which is another bouquet, in favor of the Elizabeth Stevenson. So that is my another piece of haul. And last but not, two more. This is, I saw these, and they're not really haul because I've had for a couple of months. I just haven't shown them. But this is a cross stitch kit by Luca S. And this looks just like my dog Coconut. Oh, speaking of, so Coconut was named, this is gonna tell you about how old I am. Coconut was named after the American Girl doll dog named Coconut, which was a Westie. I've never been able, I had American Girl dolls, but I didn't have the Coconut dog, and it was been hard to find, at this point, I don't think they readily sell Coconut still available on the American Girl doll website. So Mike and I went thrifting last weekend just to get out of the house and get some fresh air and not be working constantly. And I was at the thrift store and I found the original Coconut. This is the original Coconut American Girl doll dog that inspired and made me want to get a Westie starting at age 12, and that my current Westie is named after. It's so cute. And so I was so excited. I was like, no way. And so she sits right up here now. But all that to say that this looks just like my dog. And this is what she does. She'll sit and she'll just stare out the window. And so I really want to stitch this because it makes me think of my dog. And then these are the beautiful colors. You can see all of these lovely colors that go into this pattern. And it's going to be stitched on a 16 count Aida. I'll probably use the kit fabric for this. But isn't it just the most adorable darling that looks just like Coconut? I love it. So that is one. This one is another one I really want to start. I'm not sure if it's going to factor into plans anytime soon, but I would love to get a start on this. This was inspired by VX Crafts. She's stitching it. It is a Riolis kit, and it is called Carnation, Lily. It's Carnation, Lily, Lily, Rose. And this was designed after J.S. Sargent's painting. And it's what it looks like. Something about the colors of this, I don't know. Late summer, just makes me think of evening time. Kids playing in the garden. Makes me think of what are they called? Lightning bugs in the Midwest. A lot of lightning bugs. And so this is also stitched on, I believe, a 16 count, it's a 14 count Aida. And the reason it's stitched on a 14 count is because it uses both wool and acrylic fibers. And so I've never used the wool. You can see it's a little fuzzier, and I'm really eager to give it a whirl. And so these colors are just lovely. All the pretty. So I wouldn't mind starting these too. But we shall see. Priorities are the 2 pieces that I want to finish with deadlines. I don't do well with deadlines, so we'll see. And then kind of go from there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. It was so fun to hang out. I look forward to seeing you again, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer, and I'll be talking with you soon. You have a great one. Bye.